Was that the most complete, convincing, and important win of the Maple Leaf season? You're listening to the Locked On at Leafs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.
You're Locked On Maple Leafs, your daily podcast on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome into the Locked On at Leafs podcast, a daily Maple Leaf-centric podcast hosted by myself, Mike DiStefano, and my co-host, Dave Morassutti. Thank you for making us your daily listen, and thank you for making the Locked On Network the #1 sports podcast network in North America. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com and win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Well, if you bet on the Maple Leafs to get the money line victory over the Florida Panthers with your first $5 bet, you will get yourself those bonus bets for sure. The Leafs with a 4-1 win over the Florida Panthers. And Dave, I would argue that was their most complete, convincing, and important win thus far in the season.
Yeah, a buddy of mine, shout out to my buddy Anthony, who messaged me. He's like, they looked like a team tonight.
Yes.
And usually it's just like, it's a simple thing to say, but I think it kind of shows how connected this group looked tonight. The fact that you got contributions all across the ice. It wasn't just one or two lines carrying it. Like, to me, yeah, that was top to bottom. Everyone stepped up in this game, and it's a refreshing thing to see.
Yeah, I mean, we've been waiting for a game like this for a while from this team, and it gives you a little confidence that, you know, what we saw in Pittsburgh wasn't just a blip on the radar. Maybe it was truly the start of the turnaround. And, you know, we said they got to follow it up with another good performance here in Florida, and they followed up with a better performance because the win in Pittsburgh, it looked lopsided on the scoreboard, but, you know, it wasn't the most convincing win. This was a convincing win right from the get-go. You know, they go up 2-0, or they score early, they add to it, go up 2-0, and then they really, really clamp down and didn't let Florida even get into this game at all. Like, not for 1 second did it feel like Toronto was in trouble. And, you know, that's a good Florida team. I get it. They're very shorthanded. It's not necessarily the championship Panthers that we're used to. No Barkov, no Kachuk, even Carter Verhaeghe wasn't there tonight. But look, this Toronto team has not won a whole lot of games this year, and they haven't won back-to-back games in a while. And we keep talking about they got to start stacking wins. We can't nitpick the opponents. It's important to pick up points, and important to pick up points against teams who you're trying to leapfrog in the standings. And that's exactly what they're able to do tonight, leapfrog a couple of teams in the standings, one being the Florida Panthers, who now are dead last in the Eastern Conference, which is kind of wild to see. But to me, this is the best game that the Maple Leafs have played. As you mentioned, you know, getting contributions up and down the lineup was great. Goaltending was solid. Joseph Woll again puts up a really, really good start. The penalty kill was good in their one chance that they had out there. The power play let them down a bit. You know, the power play let them down. The one goal was a shorty, and they didn't look all that comfortable, you know, when they were in the offensive zone either. So again, still some things to clean up. Not a perfect game, but it was still a pretty solid 60-minute hockey game out of these buds tonight.
Yeah, I know. I think that's probably the big one there is everyone contributing, but yeah, it's things to build on. You know, they get another road win. Like, the team was what at like one point, like 1-7,
1-6 before they went on this road trip. 1-6 prior to the road trip. Yeah.
So now 4-7.
Yeah.
And you're starting to slowly see things shift, right? Like, I get it. This is a Panthers team that was missing. You just mentioned all the guys are like top to bottom. They're missing a lot of players.
Yeah.
But they still have elements of that team that are like crucial, right? Sam Bennett, Sam Reinhart, Brian Marchand, Aaron Ekblad, Seth Jones, Sergei Bobrovsky. Like, they're still, right. There's still good parts to that Panthers team playing. So it's not like the Leafs got a free. But at the same time, how many times the Leafs have a matchup we think should be in their favor, and they didn't take advantage of it?
That's
right?
right. So I don't want to pick it apart and be like, well, they should have won, so we shouldn't give them credit for it. Well, unfortunately, the way that things have gone this year, wins are so few and far between. I think we should give them credit for finally showing up. But just like I said after the Pittsburgh game, you got to build on it. Now all of a sudden you've got 2 wins in a row, and you've played pretty well in those 2 wins. The offense is clicking. You've gotten good goaltending defensively. You're starting to shore things up. I mean, you look at the numbers tonight. Only 10 giveaways, which still, you don't ever want to give the puck away.
It's a far cry from the 19, 20 that we've seen at
Right.
times this year.
Well, they're averaging 17. So like that's almost half as much that they typically have in a game. So, they're starting to clean things up, and they're really starting to play Berube hockey, especially that third line, who once again was the catalyst tonight. They got things going early. And, I think that was, we talked about it so much coming into the season, how their identity was going to be, the depth and the fact that this team was going to be more an aggressive forecheck team. They could be heavy to play against. They'll be able to cycle the puck better, look more like a playoff team. And that's kind of what we've seen over the last couple of games. And a lot of that has to do with this third line that's emerging with Nicola Waugh, Dakota Joshua, and Bobby McMahon. There's some chemistry there, and they found a spark in Pittsburgh, and they're able to carry it over tonight. And right away, they score. Well, I guess technically Stecher got the goal, but that was purely the third line getting in on the forecheck and getting puck and allowing them to get there. And then again, they score. Dakota Joshua goes to the net. The forecheck allows them to get the puck, and all of a sudden, boom, it's 2-0, and you're like, whoa, okay, what's going on here? Maple Leafs looking pretty good. So I think there's a lot of positives that we can look at in this hockey game. So why don't we take a break? Let's come back. Let's get into our 3 stars of the game, continue to break it down. What do we like? What do they still have to work on? And also some new, well, not really news, but it seems as though things have settled in Toronto. No major off-ice changes coming in Toronto. We can talk a little bit about that as well in a moment. I'm Mike DiStefano and Dave Morassutti. You're listening to the Locked On Leafs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.
Today's show is brought to you by DUER. DUER jeans, there are a lot to be excited about with these jeans. And, if you're looking for something that has performance but also feel comfortable, then DUER is exactly what you need. DUER jeans have 5 times the stretch of traditional jeans, and they're antibacterial, meaning your jeans stay fresh longer, so if you can wear them more and you can also wash them less. And they're made with Cool Max. They regulate your body temperature and they wick moisture. They keep you cool and comfortable as temperature change. These jeans also feel stretchy and they don't look stretchy. DUER jeans give you that blend of comfort and style. They're almost like you're wearing synthetic joggers, but ready to go out on the town. DUER combines classic jean wear style with the kind of comfort and performance you get from athletic wear. It's the best of both worlds. DUER are pioneers of blending technical innovation with everyday clothing. They invented the original performance denim. Simply put, DUER makes the world's most comfortable pants without having to sacrifice style. And you can check out DUER in store here in Toronto over at 44 Ossington Avenue. Pick up a pair for yourself or as an amazing holiday gift. Mention our promo code LOCKEDONTORONTO in store to get 15% off your first order, or check them out online, DUER.ca/LockedOnToronto for 15% off. That's DUER.ca/LockedOnToronto.
Welcome back into the Locked On Maple Leafs, Locked On Leafs podcast by DiStefano, Dave Morassutti with you as we are each and every day. It's weird. I'm not used to seeing the Maple Leafs, play good hockey. Apparently, it has me fumbling my words here, Dave. But we do have daily episodes coming out Monday through Friday, brand new episodes. You can find them wherever you get your podcast, whether that's Apple, whether that's Spotify, Stitcher, wherever. And also, of course, on YouTube, where you can subscribe and get your daily dose of Maple Leafs content as well. We're reacting to the Maple Leafs 4-1 win over the Florida Panthers, a statement victory, I think, for the Maple Leafs, and one that should give them a lot of confidence moving forward. And look, you look at the way that third line played, Dave, and I want to pick up on the third line and what they're doing, because they are kind of the story of the game. the reason why they went out and got a Nicola Watt, the reason why they went out and got a Dakota Joshua is because they want to be able to play playoff hockey, right? Those guys who are big and have some skill and also play big and play playoff style hockey. They'll lean on you. And that's exactly what those guys were able to do tonight to generate offense and create. And it really feels good when you see it happen against the Florida Panthers specifically, because everyone in the league is building their squads to contend and to beat Florida. It was nice to see that third line that was built to have an identity to compete and beat Florida really came through tonight.
Well, it's the depth that you just have. Like, too many times we've seen one line play phenomenal. That was usually the Tavares, Cowan, Nylander line, or whoever was playing with those two players. Nobody else was really chipping in, not even just offensively, but just getting a rhythm and being able to stay in the offensive zone. So, like, that's been the biggest change I've seen in these last few games. Dakota Joshua, I think, like, if there's ever a time where a healthy scratch has been justified, looks like it's like I don't think anyone argue.
Let him fire up his ass for sure. He's playing with a lot more edge. And that's what you need from him. That's what we need out of him. That's what the Leafs need out of him, is play with more edge. And whether it's just being harder on the forecheck, forcing more turnovers, winning puck battles too. Like, they're finally winning some puck battles. You look at a couple of these goals that the Maple Leafs scored tonight. Even a guy like, and it's infectious. Look at a guy like Nick Robertson. I mean, this guy wins a loose puck battle, right? Skates and ends up winning a battle, gets the puck over to Lorenz, who just fires it on goal. And then right there in front of the net is Scott Laughton to pounce on a rebound in tight. Like, that's Berube hockey, right? And that's the style, that's the game that this team wants to play. And it feels like it's finally starting to kind of come through. Looked like they had a bit of an identity crisis maybe the first 6 weeks, 7 weeks of the season. But the last couple of games, you're starting to see signs of what this team wants to do, what this team wants to be. And it looks pretty good. Look pretty good, at least the last couple games. And that the game in Carolina will be a major test for that.
Yeah, like, you're seeing signs of it getting better. But let's see it against, a team that's really going to push you to stay within that structure, not cheat and test you in a big way. Like Florida, like, remember, like, this is a team that also plays within a structure. Paul Maurice is very big on it. If you're not going to do those things, you're gonna hear it first and foremost, or you're gonna get benched, right? And what really impressed me too with this game tonight, the speed that this team played with. They look so much faster than I think I've seen them all year. Because a lot of times when they haven't looked good, it's like they look so slow and out of it. And they were played with such purpose, and it's not a blazing speed, but it's enough to notice that they're in the game more. They're more in control of the game.
Totally. And it allowed them to get on the forecheck, force some turnovers. Like, even like, I noticed, like, even like William Nylander, I don't know if he was kind of getting a little edgy out there. He had a couple of back checks, couple forechecks. He laid a hit in the corner there. Nylander, even, it was kind of infectious on him to start mucking it up a little bit. But yeah, I'm with you, man. It's good to see. It's good to see, and hopefully we can continue to see this style of hockey moving forward. All right, Dave, let's get to the 3 stars of the game. Who was your first star tonight?
I got to go with the Troy Stecher, Jake McCabe pairing.
Ooh, okay.
It's worked so well. And Troy Stecher apparently told a few Leafs players, scoring tonight. It's happening. Apparently he does that every game, though.
Called his shot, but no, he did the old Babe Ruth, called his shot. I love it.
He did. And look, it worked out pretty well. I mean, you put pucks on net, it's going to, you're hopefully going to find something that gets to the back of the net. But, like, not only has Troy Stecher looked really good, and he might be one of the more underrated pickups considering he was free. It was a free waiver claim for the Leafs. But it's also made Jake McCabe look a lot better too.
Yeah.
I know like him and Tam, that's the perfect shutdown duo, but like I want to see this. Well, we're gonna see it get tested a lot more. I want to see this ride out a bit more because it might have just found a pretty good yin and yang sort of deal between McCabe and Stecher right now.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. I mean, it's still a small sample size. I'm not ready to anoint Stecher as like a, top 4 shutdown defenseman like he's been the last couple games, but it's certainly been a positive story, and we'll give him his flowers for now and let it ride as long as Tanev's out for sure. Like Simon Benoit should never get a sniff with Jake McCabe right now. Like it's McCabe and Stecher. They're playing great tonight. I mean, even again, like you look at it, both of them, despite playing tough minutes, hard minutes, playing against the toughest lineup that the opposition could ice, the Marchand line, yet still, you look at it, the Maple Leafs, they're out shooting, out chancing, and outscoring the Panthers when they're on the ice. I mean, both of them were +4 tonight. Both Stecher and McCabe +4. They're on the ice for every single goal that the Maple Leafs scored, and they weren't on the ice for a goal against at all. So for your shutdown pair, which is effectively what they're expected to be, I mean, that's impressive stuff. And Troy Stecher, again, to give that guy a lot more love, to give him love and flowers, led the team 21 minutes, 19 seconds of ice time at 5-on-5. It's 2 games in a row now that Troy Stetcher's led the Leafs in ice time. For a guy who wasn't with the team 2.5 weeks ago, it's impressive. And, he got the ball rolling with a goal early and really just kept up that play on both sides of the ice. He's been terrific.
Yeah. And again, I know everyone likes the heavy style of hockey that Craig Berube preaches. Once in a while, it's not bad to have a guy that's capable of moving the puck, moving his feet.
Yeah.
Right. Playing with a little bit of confidence with the puck too, and I think that's been the biggest change. Like what he's brought that's so different than what they've had.
Well, I don't think it's any, I don't think it's a coincidence that over the last couple of games, as he's been given more opportunity, more ice time, that the Leafs are spending less time in their own end. Why? Because they have a guy who can get the puck and who can get that first pass out of the zone or skate it up and chip it off the boards and get it out. Like he's a veteran. He's been around for a while, so he can get the puck out of the zone, and he's been doing that with regularity this season, at least since he came over to Toronto. He's got, the lowest expected goals against since coming to the team, so he's been terrific. And it was another big night for him again here against the Florida Panthers. I had them as my second star. The first star I gave to the third line. The third line for me got the first star, and obviously I had to cheat, so I had to give it to the whole line. But you obviously get the goal here from Dakota Joshua. You get Nick Waugh, who got involved, and Bobby McMahon obviously ended up getting involved as well. So you end up with how many of those 3 combined for? You got 2 assists from McMahon, a goal and an assist from Dakota Joshua, and then Nick Waugh didn't get a goal, but was provided the screen for Troy Stecher, and was also a factor out there. And he won 80% of his faceoffs tonight. 80% of his faceoffs, including the one that led to the rush chance for Dakota Joshua. So just as a line, they're forechecking well. They're leaning on the opposition. They were a +2 tonight. That third line for me, it's 2 games in a row where they've really stood out and have been the best line that the Maple Leafs have had.
They were my second star. I like the chemistry that they're showing. Size, right? But they can also skate. They can move. Like obviously Dakota Joshua's not the fastest player, but when he gets moving a bit, it really makes a difference. Getting to the net, doing the little things that will lead to goals. Like that's probably like that line there is probably the typical Craig Berube line that he probably has been envisioning, right, as a third line.
100%.
They didn't really had that, right? Nick Waugh, big guy, but when he's skating and when he gets to the net, right, that's what he can do. That's what he can do well. Yeah, he almost had another goal. He got stopped by Bobrovsky. Like Nick Waugh should have had another one in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Well, McMahon too. By McMahon on the breakaway could have scored as well. Another opportunity. Like the Leafs could have they could have blew out. Like this could have been a bigger blowout than what the score was. This could have been a 5-6-1 hockey game. Bobrovsky was great tonight, but the Leafs found a way to put four past him. And let's look at the history. It's not often that they can put up a four spot. I guess three, one with an empty netter, but that number has been two, if you recall. He never allows more than 2 goals against the Maple Leafs, certainly not during the playoffs at the very least. So able to get 3 tonight, which is almost the magic number against the Florida Panthers, and the Maple Leafs, they got it done. Speaking of the magic number 3, who's your third star, Dave?
I had a bit of a tough time debating which guy I was going to give this to. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Scott Laughton. Gets his first of the season, gets his first goal. I know it's been a struggle for him given the role and what people have expectations. But I also want to give him a shout out for one of the weirdest post-game interviews I have ever heard by a Leafs player with Mark Masters. I don't know what that was, but it was funny.
Yeah, Mark. We'll leave between us, Mark. It's like, what the hell did Masters ever do to you? He's the nicest guy in the world. I don't know.
It kind of shows a bit of his character and personality, and you hear a lot about what he means, what he's been doing inside of the locker room too. But again, the fourth line, I think they're, it's a work in progress for them. But again, Scott Laughton being in the right place, getting the rebound. Again, it doesn't take much to be successful in a Craig Berube system if you do the little things you need to do to be successful.
Oh, you mean like hustle to a loose puck, win the battle, throw it on net, and then have a guy bang at a rebound because he's gone to the net, direct to the net? You mean like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Did that sound familiar to you?
Pochettino.
Yeah. Kind of sounded exactly how Scott Laughton ended up with his goal there. So, yeah. I mean, this is starting to look like the team we envisioned in training camp. And keep in mind, I mean, that third line, just to go back to those guys quick, like Joshua, Nick Lavoie, and Bobby McMahon, they were penciled in as the third line to start the season. And then Scott Laughton got hurt, and all of a sudden, you have Nick Waugh dropping down to the fourth line. Max Domi moved into the middle of the ice, and you were moving McMahon up and down the lineup, and so those three never got a chance to play in the regular season and gain that chemistry or continue that chemistry. And all of a sudden, now last couple games, team's healthy, they can put out the lineup that they intended on at the beginning of the season, and all of a sudden they're finding success. So earlier in the season when we're saying, can you blame injuries? Yeah, kind of. Like you're kind of starting to see like, yeah, those injuries were quite meaningful and impactful because it put guys in positions where they just were unable to succeed. Like Domi just couldn't get it done down the middle as a centerman, just wasn't able to do it at 3C, right? And so without Laughton, you had to shuffle everything around, and that's not even to mention the injuries to Auston Matthews. Nyes missed a handful of games. You obviously are missing, a couple of your big-time defensemen. So both goalies have now spent time on the IR. So it's been a tough opening 25, 26 games for the Maple Leafs. But, hey, you're getting healthier. You go into Florida. You get a big 4-1 win on the road. You've now you'll be 500 at the very least on this 6-game road trip now, whatever happens in Carolina. And you can wake up in the morning, look at the standings, and look, we're no longer in the basement, right? We're 2 points up on Florida, a point up on Buffalo. And how close are you now to a playoff spot? Detroit 30 points, so you're sitting there 3 points out of a playoff spot now. So you gained a point there. You woke up on Tuesday, you were 4 points out. All of a sudden, you win a game, and now you're only 3 points out of a playoff spot. You just continue to chip away and chip away. And if they can play the way they did tonight, they'll win a lot more hockey games moving forward. That I can guarantee you. Okay, let's take one more quick break. And when we get back, Dave, do want to have a conversation about Auston Matthews. I do want to have that chat because today, great game, but that guy's still a little more to be desired. So let's get into that next here in the Locked On Leafs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by DripDrop. When I'm hydrated, everything just works better. My focus, my energy, my mood, even my skin. That's why I've been using DripDrop. It's doctor-developed hydration that keeps me running at full power no matter what my day looks like. DripDrop isn't your average sports drink. It delivers 3 times the electrolytes and half the sugar of leading brands. Using a science-backed formula trusted by medical professionals, firefighters, and over 90% of top college and pro teams. When I love this Drip Drop. It's part of my daily routine. I mix a packet in the morning before I leave for work. During that midday slump, gets me going, and it tastes pretty good. Hydration has become a non-negotiable for me. Drip Drop helps me feel sharper, calmer, and honestly, just better overall. Right now, Drip Drop is offering podcast listeners 20% off your first order. Go to dripdrop.com. Use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL. That's dripdrop.com. Promo code LOCKEDONNHL for 20% off. Stock up now before the heat hits hard and keep your body and mind performing at their best with Drip Drop. Today's show is also brought to you by FanDuel. NFL Sundays move fast, one big play, and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time, and with FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is the best when the game starts to shift, a receiver gets hot, a defense tightens up, or the momentum flips over after a turnover. FanDuel lets you jump into the momentum. Live spreads and money lines adjust instantly. Player props update as guys heat up. And you can bet next touchdown scores, drive results, totals, and more. It keeps you locked into every snap, every drive, and every possibility. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. Welcome back into the Locked On Leafs podcast. Mike DiStefano, Dave Morassutti with you. The Maple Leafs with a 4-1 win over the Florida Panthers, and it was a complete team effort, top to bottom. Thought defensively the team played well. The goaltending, Joseph Woll, he had a good game as well. He came up big in the first period where I thought he was tested a couple of times and kept the Maple Leafs in the lead, and they were able to build on it after that. I will say, though, still want to see more from Auston Matthews. Not that he played poorly tonight, but we're still waiting for Auston Matthews to take over a game. I still think that you look back ever since he's come back from injury, I don't think there's been a game where you're sitting there saying the top line was the best line. Usually it's either the Tavares-Nylander combination or the last couple of games, it's been that third line. At some point, the Maple Leafs, and maybe going into Carolina against a really good Hurricanes team, they need that guy to show up and be that MVP form player that he was a couple of years ago. They need that guy to show up at some point soon if this team really wants to kick it into a next gear.
Yeah, I mean, like I liked what I saw from him tonight. I thought it was a more he had more of a step to his game, but you can see he missed that. How many times do you see Auston Matthews miss a chance in front of the net like he did on the backhand, where he kind of waited a little too long and couldn't put it past Bobrovsky. And then you see him on the bench against the iPad, and I mean, I'm not going to repeat what he said because we're not allowed.
Oh, bleep, just straight
bleep me. Like, you can tell that's frustration. You can tell that there's still, he understands that there's another level. There's another level for him to get to. And look, I get it. The injuries have taken their toll, and a lot of people have asked me, do we think Auston Matthews is going to get back to the player he was? I think what he's trying to get himself back to. And look, it's going to take some time for that to happen. It clearly is, because it's, we talk so much about, we hear about all the changes that he went through, right? Mitch Marner's not there anymore. So that's something that was talked about on the panel. I don't know if it's necessarily that. I just think it's him now taking more ownership of the fact that he's got to be the one to do just a bit more, right? Just to make that adjustment and do a bit more. But you saw like against Pittsburgh, just takes a shot on net, it goes in. I think he's trying maybe to be a little too perfect, right? Instead of maybe waiting to take that shot on Bobrovsky, trust the fact that you've got that shot. Shoot it. Don't wait. Don't wait it out. Don't feel like you have to make the extra move, right?
Well,
Trust your first instinct.
There was that opportunity on that kind of half breakaway, and then there was also the 2-on-1 shorthanded with Nick Waugh, where I felt like you're the better shot. Like you are the better shot. That should be you barreling in, get that thing off, and maybe Waugh gets a rebound, right? Maybe it's a pop pass type thing. You hope for a rebound, or best case scenario, you score. But that's where it's like, man, he's becoming too much of a facilitator out there. As well, I also hate him at the point at the power play. I absolutely hate it. It's been a couple of games now. He looks
the 5-man unit needs to go like that. If that's what they're gonna do, if that's how they think it's the best way to deploy it, somebody needs to rethink that because it's not.
No, and I mean they've been scored on now twice, shorthanded, or I think 3 times on the season and twice as a 5-man unit, and that's just it's not. That aside, the fact that they're getting scored on is one problem, but Auston Matthews in particular doesn't look comfortable handling the puck at the point like that. It feels like he doesn't know. It's not that he doesn't know what to do, but I think he wants to shoot it, but that's not the spot where he's going to shoot it from. That's not the high percentage area of the ice where you're going to get a shot through and score. That's going to be on the flank. That's going to be closer to the net in the dots, get some east-west going, right? Try and get that one-timer off, get the goaltender moving a little bit. That's where he's going to have his success. And that's where he's had a lot of success over his career on the power play, setting up inside the dot. I get it. They're trying different things because his power play has been abysmal, and, they're just trying to see, okay, maybe this will work. And it's still a rather small sample size. I think they were 0 for 3 tonight. They were 0 for 2 or 3 the other night in Pittsburgh, or 1 for 3, but the first unit did nothing. They were 0 for. So it's a small sample size still, but I don't like it one bit. I had that thought in Pittsburgh, and it followed up again tonight. He doesn't look comfortable handling the puck up at the point, and he's not as dangerous either. I think they got to figure something else out, get a defenseman back there, or let someone else handle the puck up at the point. Like I don't know, like Domi, I know you don't want him being at the point, being the last line of defense, but at least he can, kind of handle the pill a little bit and make a good pass. Or you just put an OEL in there. Like OEL's been terrific.
I think it's got to be like an OEL's got to go there. It just doesn't make sense to put your best goal scorer at the point, because that's the one place that is tough to score from.
Right.
Like it's never been something he's done in his career. And like, it feels like a grasping at straws type of approach.
Yes. Well, they are. I think they are. They've tried
you put them
different things and
put him on the flank, try a different side. Instead of him on the right side, try him on the left side, right? Like change his shot position. Maybe putting him on the left side might work better for his shot, because it just feels like right now they're not sure what's the best way to go about this. And also like the effort from that power play on that goal was so pitiful. And I don't know what, like their brains just like turned off. It's like, I want puck, but I'm also going to leave a guy wide open in front of the net. Like
puck watching, man. Just straight up puck watching.
Like I'm hoping that what happened on that goal just kills that experiment going forward. Like it worked last year for a bit, but that's also because you had Mitch Marner, who was a more responsible defensive player in that spot.
And he could handle the puck, and he was comfortable up there, and he could, that guy could walk the blue line like a defenseman. Auston Matthews, not really. Like he's kind of flat-footed up there. Doesn't skate a whole lot. Yeah. Him and Nylander are kind of trying to like cross each other, and it just looks goofy. He's not sure if he's giving the puck up to Nylander or if the whole thing just looks very uncomfortable. And I'm done with the 5 forward unit. or at least I'm done with Matthews at the point, at the very least. I would try something new. And I know you've won a couple games in a row, so you don't want to, change up the mix or change up the minutia. But man, the power play is not doing well. So you could definitely make a change there, I think, still. And you find games, right? You find things that you can improve upon game after game, and I think you're starting to see a little bit more positives when it comes to them playing offense and defense and supporting and forechecking. You're seeing some good play from them. The power play is still kind of that next thing that the Maple Leafs need to unlock in order to really take a step forward. And I personally think a lot of that is getting Matthews back on the flank one, and get him back to shooting the puck from those danger areas, those high danger areas, and getting him to start burying the biscuit again, man. Like, they need this guy to start scoring some goals. The fact that where is he now currently on the Maple Leafs? I know I guess he missed a bunch of games, so it's not necessarily a completely fair comparison, but the guy he should still be in your top 3 in scoring, should still be probably your top scorer, realistically, but it's been a slow season for Auston Matthews, and I think he's got to kind of get it going at some point here. For the Maple Leafs to have success. He's third. He's got 10 goals. So he's, 1 behind Willie, 3 behind Tavares, but got to start seeing more pucks start to drop for him.
Yeah. I mean, again, I understand he's also trying to be a more responsible defensive player. Totally get that. Did you see the ridiculous Nathan MacKinnon stat right now?
No.
How crazy! I'm trying to find the stat again. I think
he's he scores a goal in every single game he plays. That's what the eye test is telling me, at least.
No, I think when the Avs are outscoring the other team 37-9 when Nathan MacKinnon is on the ice at 5-on-5 this season.
Oh, very nice. What's Auston Matthews at?
I'd really like to know.
I can check in 2 seconds. I'll check. I'll find out in 2 seconds.
The thing that. I understand you want Auston Matthews to do the things that's going to make him successful in the playoffs. I totally get that. Auston Matthews is a goal scorer. Auston Matthews should be focusing also on scoring goals, driving play offensively, because that is what the star players are expected to do. Right. And so he's getting tougher minutes too. He's playing a lot of defensive minutes. I'm hoping that we can start seeing a shift where now you've got Laughton and Nicolas Watt playing a lot better. They should be having more heavy defensive usage than Auston Matthews. Right. Again, I'm not asking for them to, he doesn't need to be sheltered. We know he can do the defensive things, but if this Leafs team wants to catapult themselves forward, Auston Matthews needs to get his offense going. Right? 10 goals is not bad considering how many games he's missed, but it falls way behind what we have normally expected from him.
What'd you say it was? 30-9?
37-9.
37-9 was the goal differential. So
that's 5-on-5 for MacKinnon.
And that's what, plus 18? Is that plus 18? Is that math? 37-9?
Yes.
Yeah, plus 18. Auston Matthews, it's
plus 28, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you are right.
I was like, wait a minute, something's not right.
Plus 28. Yeah, math, not my strong suit, apparently. I forgot to carry the 2. That's what I do there. Anyways, plus
it's 28. Ridiculous. It's a ridiculous goal differential for MacKinnon.
Yeah, Auston Matthews, it's 19 goals for, 11 against for plus 8. So, yeah, the Avalanche have 20 more goals than the opposition when MacKinnon's on the ice than Auston Matthews. But even when you look at that, though, Matthews, the Leafs have a 63% goal share when he's on the ice, but the expected goals sub 50%. Like, that's not what we come to expect from Auston Matthews. Auston Matthews is being outchanced when he's out there on the ice. 145 chances for the Maple Leafs, 152 against the Maple Leafs. High danger chances, it's very close. 62 high danger chances for, 59 high danger chances against. So, you want to see those numbers improve this year, and we're starting to see them. We're starting to see it from the rest of the group. Like I said, Auston Matthews is maybe that final piece of the puzzle when he can get back to being his MVP-ish self. I think this team will they have a chance to take off. Honestly, they do. They have a chance to really get going here. And it's a bit of a difficult December schedule. So it's nice that they're stacking wins, picking up victories, and gaining confidence because they're going to need it moving forward. And they'll need it tomorrow when they head to Carolina to finish off this road trip. And they can finish the road trip 4-2. That's a really good road trip for this team. And it'll put them in a much better spot than when they started this trip a couple weeks ago. All right. Anything you wanted to get into? I guess that pretty much should do it for us here today.
Yep.
I'd like to thank everyone for listening and supporting the show. You can subscribe to the Locked On Leafs podcast on all platforms and receive daily Leafs content. Follow myself on Twitter at Mickey_Canuck. Follow Dave at _Morassutti, and follow the show as well at Locked On Leafs. We'll be back with another episode for you guys tomorrow. Until then, keep it locked right here on Locked On Leafs.